3 months short of 25 years ago, I sat with Ralph Reed, not even a mile from this building. He still looks exactly the same. He does. And he told me something which in the intervening 25 years has not found any falsehood in my mind. I have reinforced what he told me as absolutely correct. What Ralph told me nearly 25 years ago is that when it comes to politics, when it comes to changing hearts and minds, we don't need accountants, we need crusaders. Crusaders like you. It's not about numbers, it's about belief. Now look, I love accountants. As a matter of fact, if you're an early stage entrepreneur, please make sure you have a great accountant. And what is more, lavish upon him or her love and affection and founder's stock. But don't forget, your accountant is not in charge of marketing. Your accountant is not a brand ambassador. Your accountant is about the numbers. But when it comes to changing the hearts and minds of people, we need crusaders. And crusaders deal in belief, not in numbers. And belief trumps numbers every time. Crusaders trump accountants. Now, don't make business decisions on beliefs. Do not produce a product because you believe people will. Please, numbers always. But when it comes to changing people's hearts and minds, changing their behavior, change the way they buy and change the way they vote, we need crusaders and we need beliefs. And so I thought we'd look quickly at the three pyramidal legs of Western civilization. Because it is Western civilization that utterly depends for its survival on religious conservatives like we here in this room today. And Western civilization rests on three foundational legs. One of them is marriage, the second is money, and the third, interestingly enough, is energy. Yes, marriage, money, and energy. Now, if I was an accountant, I would start telling you about the condition of marriage in the United States. I would tell you how many children are born outside of a marriage. I would tell you what those numbers were in the year 1990 and in the year 1970, and I'd show you trends. I might even put up a few graphs. But that's if I was an accountant. But I'm not. I'm a crusader. And for that, we need to understand that what separates Western civilization from the 5,000 different cultures that have populated the earth, what distinguishes Western civilization is the stability of the family. Now, there are animals for whom sex is merely a reproductive strategy. There are animals that mate for life. None of that has anything to do with marriage, which is a covenantal system of shared belief. That's what marriage is. And marriage creates the kind of children who become citizens upon which a vibrant and healthy society utterly depends. Trying to build a durable, tranquil society with children or adults who grew up as children without a mother and a father married to one another and dedicated to one another is a futile exercise. It's not going to work. And marriage is, for us, a sanctifying of something very basic that God built into the world. Yes, I am here, and I have uncles and aunts, and I have cousins, and I have nieces and nephews, all because Grandpa and Grandma gazed lovingly into one another's eyes and found ecstasy in one another's arms. And that is the whole reason I am part of a loving family. It wasn't just sex. It was something much more profound. It was a marriage which was replicated in every generation since then. Now, not surprisingly, secular liberalism hates marriage. They even hate the male-female construct that makes marriage possible. They don't accept that. Why not? For only one reason. My friends, don't think that they are not crusaders as well. They are. That's why they use the language of compassion and caring and concern. That's the language they speak. They don't let us have numbers because they lose on the numbers anyway. But they have their belief system. And their belief system is that anything that is rooted in that majestic, timeless volume we call the Bible must be extirpated. And so, male and female, he created them, not on your Nelly, not if we have anything to say about it. Male and female, no siree, we got a whole range. Marriage and family, that men and women should be dedicated to a man and a wife, absolutely not. Marriage is tribalistic and paternalist. They've got to hate it because it is rooted in the Bible. And they are crusaders against, just as much as we are crusaders for. If we revert to become accountants, they win because crusaders always beat accountants. Money is something that we find particularly in the Hebrew Scriptures absolutely full. I mean, apart from anything else, what is the point of giving charity if you don't have any money? Each man should find tranquility sitting not under a fig tree, under his fig tree. People should build, says Deuteronomy, a parapet around the flat roof on houses, government housing, on your own house. The ownership of property and having money is precisely what grants you independence of government. Money is a positive. Money is a foundation of Western civilization. Of the 5,000 cultures around the world, my friends, those that had zero connection with the peoples of the Bible took a very long time to arrive at money. But the idea of an abstract set of values to indicate human effort and to be certificates of performance where every single dollar bill proves that I pleased another one of God's children. That's why my boss or my client or my customer gave it to me. It wasn't at the point of a gun. It wasn't extracted as taxes. It was somebody who voluntarily put it in my hands. The beginning of Genesis, everything is good. Whatever God created was good. 7 times. What is the 8th good? The gold of that land. For which reason? Gold is the metal of monetization. Gold is good. Secular liberalism hates money other than in the hands of government. But the idea that citizens should be affluent and independent of government, that is an idea they loathe because it is biblical in origin. It is not an accident that "in God we trust" is not written on the walls of churches, but "in God we trust" is written on the currency of the country that has been the world's greatest engine of prosperity ever. And finally, the third leg of Western civilization, energy. We are the only species on Earth that has an external source of energies. If camels want to get anywhere, they walk. If cows, cats, or kangaroos want to get anywhere, they walk. If they need to warm up, it's only their internal furnace, fueled by food, that warms them up. Human beings, quite different. The left, secular liberalism, hates the use of energy. It's so strange, but they have to, because energy is part of God's gift to humanity. Let me explain. Jerusalem versus Athens, Greek mythology, that's the place to go to if you ever want to find secular liberalism's foundational philosophies. And in Greek mythology, there's the story that fire belonged only to the gods. Who's allowed to fly on charter flights? Only the leaders, the zookeepers, the farmers who look after us mere animals. That's right. And we must not use energy. Our energy use must be regulated and reduced. Well, it's none of your business. I'm happy to pay my fees, even if I don't like my electricity rate subsidizing wind. But still, no, it doesn't matter. We still have to cut your use of energy. Why? Well, because energy belonged only to Zeus, only to the gods. And along came a brave human being, Prometheus, who said, no, human beings need this thing called fire. And he tried to steal the fire for the human beings, but Zeus caught him and tortures him eternally for his evil sin of thinking that energy is a blessing from God, usable by everybody. That is the Greek or secular liberal view of energy. In Judaism, ancient Jewish wisdom tells that Adam wept as he was being thrown out of the Garden of Eden. And he said to God, how am I going to manage? What'll I eat? Everything seems hostile and rough. A carrot is hard. What am I going to do to save myself from animal predators? And God sat down with Adam and said, I'm going to give you a fantastic gift. Come and watch. And God set a little pile of kindling and took 2 stones and rubbed them together. All of a sudden, it burst into flame. Adam jumped back in terror. What's that? And God said, this is energy. It's going to change your life and that of your children. It's my gift so that you will ultimately be able to escape drudgery and spend more of your time in communion with me. Energy. We don't have to walk. We can get on a plane. How beautiful is that? It's wonderful. And if I can jump in an 8-cylinder car and get across town and save myself some time, how beautiful. And if it has 12 cylinders, even better. It's wonderful. These are blessings from God. And all the secular liberal predictions of the demise of energy, predicted by people, university professors at Stanford, for instance, Paul Ehrlich. In 1960, he stated by the year 2000, we will all be back to living in huts without any energy at all. Not quite worked out that way at all. My friends, that's it. Marriage, money, and energy. The left, secular liberalism, hates them all because each one is rooted in God's plan for human interaction. Marriage, connect, build a society through families. Money, find independence from the forces of the Tower of Babel. Find your own money, because in seeking your money, the only way you're obtaining it is by serving my other children. And energy, use it. And hopefully you will eventually reach the peak of nuclear power, where a concrete factory humming quietly to itself produces enough power to free an entire state from drudgery. Use it. And secular liberalism, my friends, the crusaders who are on the opposite side of the fence from us, secular liberals hate the family. They hate people having money because it makes them independent of government, and they hate using energy. The 3 great gifts of God that have made Western civilization what it is and have made this country the peak of Western development in the history of the world. How wonderful is that? And all of this depends going forward on us all retaining our mission of being not accountants, but crusaders. And by virtue of you being here today, and by the sacrifices you make, and the concerns you have, and the way you take care of marriage, and family, and money, and yes, even energy. Through all of that, and the influence you have on all of those around you, you are all crusaders. 25 years ago, Ralph was right. Crusaders do win. And that is what I believe lies ahead for each and every one of us and for the values we represent in the country in which we love. Crusaders all, God bless you.